There are people that have been working within the digital twin fields like dozens of years, because as you mentioned, originally you didn't need a 3D model for digital twin, and you still don't, right? But the whole industry is changing, and we can see digital replicas or digital copies of 3D assets and facilities more and more often. And what I like to say, and I actually wrote it in one of my newsletters announcing this live, that we can consider the digital copy, whether it's point cloud or 3D mesh, it doesn't really matter. We can consider it like a LOD 0. Like we have in a BIM, for example, you have a LOD 0, which is basically just the volume, right? You have zero information, you have zero ability to work with it. It's just the volume placed somewhere. It's LOD 0. So do you think this could be acceptable to consider a 3D mesh model or a point cloud like level of digital twin at the 0 point, like the very stupidest, as I like to say, version of digital twin?
I think it's a good idea, actually. I think there's definitely people need to understand what the differences are. I mean, when I'm trying to explain digital twin to a CEO or a CFO and they don't really know what I'm talking about, the way an analogy or the metaphor I use, it's a bit like having an atlas on your coffee table. It's beautiful to look at, but unless I've got an index at the back, I can't find anything. Number one. And the second thing is an atlas also, I can have a map of Great Britain or wherever as an outline, but I can put different layers of information onto it depending on what I want to see. Do I want to see the political boundaries? Do I want to see the mountains and the forests? Do I want to see land use? So you've also got that. So I think coupling this idea of an atlas, but making it things findable, but then your idea of an LOD type 1, type 10. The problem is that if we go down that route, we're going to go down the BIM route of level 2, 3, 4, BIM 4D, 5. It'll just get really confusing. But at the same time, I think that you're onto something. People need to be aware that LOD1 is just a mesh or a point cloud. And then it's a route to something else.
You are right there. However, I still think that it's much easier to explain to them the level of the digital twin rather than to draw them a line what is and what is not the digital twin, especially for people that are not experienced with either of those, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're right. I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's something I've thought of and a few of us have talked about. The problem is getting everybody to decide on what that LOD is, because it will change from country to country, industry to industry, application to application. But I think if you wanted to start a campaign for that, I'll be with you and help you.
Yeah,
because I think it's really useful for people to understand what you can expect.
And also, unlike the gender and sex, this digital twin is actually on a spectrum. It's not 1 or 0. It's not men or women. It's actually like, it can be very simple digital twin from the simple sheet or just the graph, up to fully integrated 3D model with all the live data, you being able to create some simulations with AI and everything else, right? And you cannot say that the simplest one is the digital twin and the most developed one is also the digital twin at the same level. These are on very different spectrums.
No, absolutely. And you can use them for so many different things. It may well be you just want to use it for mapping a certain thing. And we'll talk about some examples later on, I'm sure. But I think you're onto something. I think there's certainly some definitions that need to be hammered out so people know what they're buying and also know what they're providing, and there's no argument.